So, what did I do today? Well, I had a wonderful opportunity to fly out and take a look at a future vendor of ours, Dean Garrettson, the owner of Green River Log Cabins. He flew his Pilatus PC 12 turboprop airplane out to pick me up. And it worked out great because I live just a few miles from a really nice regional airport. Dean's a pilot, and he said, "Hey, let me fly you out, pick you up, and bring you back to our manufacturing facility so you can take a look at how we put these park homes together, or as I call them, tiny homes, log cabins." So at about 9:30 in the morning, myself, my wife, we loaded up on the Pilatus PC-12. Dean and one of his staff, Don, they met us at the airport and we flew out. I have to tell you, visibility was pretty awful in the morning, but Dean, being an experienced pilot that knows how to fly by the instruments, had no problem getting landed. So he landed, we loaded up, and we took off for Campobello, South Carolina, and got there in just about an hour. And after we landed, it was only a 5-minute drive to the manufacturing facility. But let me take just a minute here and talk about visiting vendors or potential vendors a little bit. So, what do you look for when you're visiting a vendor? Basically, I start from an overall perspective. By now, I have a pretty good feel for how the owner is and have a pretty good idea of what type of a leader he is and what type of a business person he is. And I think one mistake that a lot of people will make is to expect or look for a business or a manufacturing facility that is state of the art and picture perfect. I can tell you, I don't care what the place looks like as long as it's organized, because I'm here to see what the product looks like. When you purchase a product from someone, only that product is what gets shown to your customers. So in other words, let's say I'm buying a product that I'm going to resell, or maybe I'm buying a product that's going to be leased or rented to one of my customers. They're going to have no idea what the manufacturing facility looks like, and they're going to have no idea what the business owner looks like or what type of a business owner he is. They will, however, know the quality of what it is they're purchasing from you or renting from you. So I'm here to take a look at the quality of the product and also take a look at the quality of the staff. A good leader, a great leader, will have a terrific staff. And when you have a terrific staff, that means that the chances of producing a top-notch product are greater than if you have a mediocre staff. A bad staff, a mediocre staff, it leads to problems. And when you have a great staff, those problems fix themselves before the leader is even made aware of it. Now, if the owner of the business is a great person to work for, the staff will do everything they possibly can to make sure that they're putting out a great product. And that certainly is the case with Dean Garrettson and his staff at Green River Log Cabin. As we got to the manufacturing facility, I could tell that it's been around for a while, but that didn't bother me. I wanted to see the product and see the quality of what it is I'm considering buying. Here, you can see the 4 stages of the park homes and the cabins being built. All the way down the left side, you'll see the base on the trailer, and all the way to the right side, you basically see a finished product. Dean said in the first warehouse, they cut all the parts out and the pieces out, and they load them up on carts. And then the guys come and get the carts, and they transport those carts into the main manufacturing facility, and they're installed there in one of the 4 stages. In the first stage, the floor is put on the trailer, and then when they drill the holes for the utilities to come up from the outside to the inside of the cabin, and after they drill those holes and run the piping, the holes are sealed and caulked. Then they start stacking the timbers on top of each other, and the timbers have grooves that fit exactly together. I took the time to look down the side of an outside wall And this was not a show place. This was just one of the homes being built while we were there. And when I looked down that outside wall, I got my eye right up on it, looked all the way down through there, and I could tell you that the timbers from top to bottom, from the front to the back, they were exactly straight from one end to the other. There was no deviation and no waves. Dean also pointed out that the horizontal surfaces of the log cabins are flat rather than curved. The reason for this is so the timber doesn't hold moisture, because if you have a curvature there, moisture will lay on the top and eat its way through and deteriorate the material. He said, in fact, if you look at any of the old log cabins, the ones that have lasted the test of time, you'll see flat sides on the wood and not curved. So as proof, here is a picture of Abraham Lincoln's log cabin located in Kentucky. And as you can see, it has flat wooden sides as opposed to the curved side. Now, it's estimated that the log cabin was built somewhere around 1848. And at that time, Lincoln would have been about 40 years old. So it's not the original cabin, but however, this cabin with its flat sides is somewhere around 175 years old. In Dean's cabins, everything is caulked and sealed top to bottom. The timbers go through a very special drying process to reduce cracking, and once it's completed, there is little to no chance that these timbers will deviate from their original form. Top-notch building materials are used in the cabinetry. Real wood, not the press board. You don't see any of the junk lumber that you may go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you see the junky stuff. You don't see that at all. In fact, the drawers have tongue and groove sides, and you don't see that press board anywhere. The cabinet drawers are self-closing, and you see quartz countertops or granite countertops, real nice stuff. It's interesting because when you're walking around, you can just feel how solid the construction is. You don't have the feeling like everything's moving under your feet when you're walking around. It is totally solid from the front to the back, up and down. Everything is rock solid. In most of the cabins, there is a loft area that's carpeted, and it's a fantastic place for kids to sleep. In fact, it makes pretty much a nice play area, so the kids could actually hang out up there. It can be constructed to have one bedroom or two. It can be constructed to have bunk beds as well, and each unit comes with one full bathroom. We stepped in one of the model homes to eat lunch, and keep in mind that this location is between an interstate and a highway. Well, Dean said, "Hey, shut the door there." So when we shut the door, he said, "Now listen to that." And what he was referring to was the fact that you could not hear anything from the outside when the door was shut. I mean, it was solid. You're not hearing the interstate noise or the highway noise or the manufacturing facility. You're in there and it's nice and tight and quiet. This is a result of solid construction and making sure that all the joints are perfectly matched and sealed. It's also a result of every opening being caulked and insulated so that you end up with an airtight home. Now, after completing our tour, it was time to get back on the plane and head back to Kentucky. On the way back, I got to sit in the cockpit, and Dean explained all the instrumentation to me, and basically the flight's controlled by a computer, and the only manual part would be taking off and landing. The landing back home was flawless. Call me old school, but I believe any time that you can get to know one of your vendors, you need to do it. You need to visit their location. You need to have a relationship with your vendors. When you do that, chances are you're going to have a fantastic experience. And when you visit their location, they really can't hide anything from you. And I spoke about the warehouse and the manufacturing facility at the beginning. So was this a fancy new facility? No. Did I care? Absolutely not. I was here to see what kind of staff Dean had and what the manufacturing process looked like and what does that product look like during the manufacturing process. Because when you see it every step of the way, again, there's nothing that you can hide. It is what it is, and it was fantastic. There was no way you could hide any of the flaws from us. I mean, we saw the whole thing, and there simply weren't any flaws in his process. We're looking forward to getting our project off the ground and purchasing many of Dean's Green River cabins. And we greatly appreciate the staff and Dean for hosting us. We had a marvelous time. And if you can get out there and see one of your vendors that you're working with, or maybe a potential vendor, make sure you do so. Get out and establish a relationship with them. Thanks.